Hey guys, Steve Linder here with Steve's Guided Adventures. Thanks for following me on YouTube and Facebook. I did this video here. If you check me out on Facebook, earlier today we did a steelhead trip, caught a couple steelhead. Had my son Corbin with me and he was able to land one. Two of them actually, one that we caught, one that's on video with a plug. And I'm here to show you a little bit about what was successful for us today and why. And a lot of people don't realize some of the things that makes it effective to be running plugs. Some people don't like to run plugs because they never catch fish on them. And I'm going to show you why. A couple things. One thing is when you go to stow your rod, I like to take my line and you hook it around your rod and you wrap it from the middle and you go till it's tight and you hook it around the guide of the rod. It's a tip that I show my clients in my boat. They love this tip. If there's one thing they learned from me on my boat, if the line is tight, you can stow the rod away. They don't get lines caught underneath the rod tips. You grab the line in the middle. Always do it in the middle so it's dark in the morning. You can undo it. Wrap it out. Usually 3 wraps. It's undone. Keep it tight. Slide down. You can unhook your duo clip. Keep everything tight. You have no wraps in your rod tip in the dark in the morning, and you get everything going. It's a really good tip. What I want to show you on this step over here by the boat. Got my Clacka Craft drift boat here. It's an 18-foot Clacka Max. That's what we're fishing today. Awesome boat, good setup. Move the seats around. Just got her washed up with Lemon Joy, ready for tomorrow. Very important to wash your boats and keep things clean because fish don't like that smell. So anyways, I got a duo snap here. If you look at this snap up close, there's a bend in it. This bend right here has a little sharp edge to the end of that wire. You want to have that wire up when you go to put in your plug, so it has this bent round edges on the bottom that's going to run along the bill of that plug. If this edge is down, it's going to rub the bill of the plug. It's going to affect the action of the plug. Plug is all about the action and it has to run straight. So here is the plug. This was the Brad's Wiggler today. I run different ones, which I can show you. Has a fixed eyelet in the middle here, means you can't twist it, you bend it. I'm going to put this duo snap directly onto it. I'm going to hook it tight. Sharp edges to the top, so if it runs here, it's nice and smooth. Very, very important tip. I have a braid run. This is Power Pro that I'm running. This is a 30-pound. It's a real fine braid. I take a black marker, mark it up a little bit, about 6 feet, just to make it black because it's a green line. Like to use the green line because you can see it when you're running plugs and you can tell where your lines are tracking. Very, very important on that. This is a line counter Ambassador 5500. It's a 5500. I got different ones. Yeah, 5500 line counter. Very, very important because you can tell how much line to put out. So that's what my 5-year-old son ran his rod today and put it out 40 feet, 35 feet, whatever it is that you want to go. But this line counter is dialed in exactly to the foot. Every reel has to be full of line because it comes off the gear. If it's the smaller spool, there's difference of line going out even though the counters are the same, so very important. This does come in the left and the right hand. The rod is a Lamiglas XCC 801. This is the Kenai Quick Series. It is an awesome graphite rod. It's a really soft rod. I mean, the tip is really fast action. When I first got these rods, I thought they were too light. But if you watch this rod work, when this plug is working, the whole rod is bouncing. The handle's working in the rod tip or in the rod holder. That is because it's a soft rod designed for these smaller plugs. It's going to give that plug the action because this plug has so much action. This rod has so much action in it that it's letting the plug do what it's supposed to do and have action to catch the fish. If you use a rod that's too stiff, it's going to take the action away from your plug and you're not going to get hooked up. Very good tip. So use that rod. I have 803s. It's a little bit stiffer rod that I run for my salmon trips, but this is my steelhead rod and that's why I use it, so it catches fish, as you've seen today on the video. If you haven't seen the video, I have it on YouTube. I also have it on Facebook at Steve's Guided Adventures, so please follow us. So I have this all hooked up with the plug. It's all about tuning. Put my line here. Something you don't want to do. Okay, with the tuning, when you go to put this plug out, you want to reel it back to your boat or on the bank or wherever you may be. Make sure that plug is running straight. Some of these eyelets are fixed, which I have here, meaning it's a wire in the eyelets in the front of this plug that you can't twist it. So when you if you put that plug out and you reel it back and it's going to the right, coming at you, you need to take that eyelet and bend it opposite direction a tiny bit. You want to go to the left. So what I would do is I'll take my pliers, and instead of grabbing it and trying to twist it, because it's a minute amount that you want to move. It's a very small amount. So I'm going to take my pliers on the side of the bill and grab on the side of the eyelet, and I'm going to barely squeeze it just a tiny bit to make that slight adjustment. Cast it back out, reel it back in. If it runs straight, dynamite, that plug is 99% going to catch a fish. Every time you hook a fish or you land a fish, always check your plugs because they will be out of tune sometimes. A lot of these plugs have a fixed or a screw-in eyelet on the quick fish plugs, the big ones for salmon, different steelhead lures. the screw in. Sometimes the eyelet could be sideways on the bottom of the bellies and it's like a rudder and it's gonna track that plug wherever it wants to go and you can't adjust it. You have to make sure your eyelets are straight. If it's a screw in on the front, you would actually grab that eyelet at that point in time and do a slight adjustment right or left with a very slight twist and then recast, make it, reel it back in, make sure it runs straight. If it doesn't, keep tuning that plug back and forth until it does run straight. If it doesn't run straight, then you give it to your friend. Tip of the day, just kidding. But anyways, I have a lot of plugs that don't catch fish. If I'm in an area where I know there's fish being caught, I run my rod, I run new plugs on my rod to make sure that they're new plugs. I want to get a fish catcher. Fish catchers go in certain boxes, which I have. Right here is a collection of some of my steelhead plugs, from my river rockers to my tadpoles to the new Skyro ones that just came out. I have different Brad's ones, hot shots at different times, at different colors of the water, different times of the day. It makes a huge difference. Darker colors, bright colors, chromes, golds, bronze, just whatever the overcast or a sunny day may be, but it's a huge tip on that. When you get a hit on this plug, it's really a great experience. They hammer the rod, it buries. It's great for friends, people that never caught a fish before. Even me, I get excited when that rod buries. A kid in my boat today I mentored for a senior project said he never caught a fish on a plug rod today, and he's never really been on a boat that did catch fish. And when he seen that rod buried today, he was pretty excited because it'll excite anybody. One other tip I want to show you real quick. We run a lot of bait. We run divers with bait. And you have what they call the Hottentot, this plug right here. It's designed that it has just that dual snap like I talked to earlier, that's on you would click your main line directly to the front of this and then run your leader off the bottom. All this plug does is dives down your bait or whatever it is gonna be that you're gonna run behind this that doesn't dive down on its own, okay? So you have this inline. I don't like the way having it inline because when I get done at the end of the day and I wanna stow my rods away, my Clackercraft drift boat, or take them in my truck, I don't want this dangling line and beating everything up and I gotta disconnect everything. So what I've done is I've added a little piece of monofilament leader in here, 2 duo snaps on it, so it clips on the bill like it would on my main line, and I have it set up to the right amount so I can wrap it around and clip it on my bill, and it stows away in my box. So it's very nice for that. You unclip it, and what I've done is on my line here is I have a slider. So I've taken the main line, and you can go cheap on it or you can go expensive, whatever you want. I have a nice ball bearing swivel here. It's all you need. A small bead, like a 6mm bead, and then a little tiny good ball bearing swivel. I like to know if you have any spin in your baits or your spin gloves. I will clip this diver, and what I like about this is there's different size divers. There's a Magnum on these. This is the smallest one. They go clear to a bigger side, they go deeper water, so I can change out this little quick diver in any hole I go to in the same river but deeper water and get that bait down in the zone. If you're not in the strike zone, you're not catching fish. It's all about the baseball pitcher. If you don't put it in the strike zone, there ain't no home run. As soon as he does, it's home run. It's how you got to picture fishing. You got to be in the strike zone. But there's different sized divers. Like I said, there's bait divers, there's jumbo divers, whatever it may be that you use. But it's a very good way to run this gear. I have a leader, a duo snap I put on here. All my leaders are pre-tied, different lengths, whatever it is you may use. This is my steelhead gear. I got a spin glow on this one. Run some shrimp and eggs and different stuff on it. It's a combination. They're all pre-tied. I put a little ball bearing swivel in the very end of it that goes on my leader roll. So I'll stow it away right here. You'll stick it on a leader roll such as this one. It's a different, I got different stuff on this one, but the same concept on a leader roll. And you can have brackets in your boat that you can clamp them in there and have them accessible, or put them in your gear bag. If you have any yarn balls, anything like that, you always want to put them in like a bags, Ziploc bags. Keep the scent, keep the air off them, keep any scent, bad human scent you don't want on them because they will absorb it. Not so much plugs. One of the things I want to share with you that I forgot to bring out was my scent. I use ProCure. It's very good scent. It's a gel scent. They got it in water solubles. They got it in the gel. I use gel on plugs. That's what I'm talking about today. They have a steelhead combo scent that I use today. It's a very good scent. I meant to have it out here. It's in my cooler. I put it in the refrigerator at the end of every day, so I meant to grab it for this video, but it's the steelhead combo. They have the shrimp. They have a shrimp creel and some anise. Very good scents, and they're gel, so you put a little bit on the butt of the plug or the bill of the plug, wherever you want to put it. Lasts a long time. If you want to clean it off, take WD-40 on a towel. It'll cut the gel, wipe it right off. Take the plug in the sink or in a little tub with some lemon joy, scrub it up with a toothbrush or a small brush, get it nice and clean, wipe it down and put it back in your box for the end of that day, so you're ready for the next day. Always wash your plugs or do it at the river. carry Lemon Joy with me on my boat. I use a scrubber at the river, so I clean a lot of my stuff right there at the river, but it works very well. So that's my tip, ProCure. It draws them in. It's a powerful scent. Now, like I said, the water soluble is also for your eggs and different jigs and stuff where you don't want that sticky gel on there or oil. Tip of the day. So thanks for following me on Steve's Guided Adventures on YouTube, also on Facebook, and my website, stevesguidedadventures.com. So thanks for following me, and good luck to you out there in tight lines. Take a kid fishing.